Hello, friends. It is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Welcome to this latest episode of the Kingsman and the Cyber Guy podcast. I am your host, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent, also known as the Cyber Guy. Darren Mott with me, as always, is my co-host, the Kingsman, Michael McQuaid. Michael, welcome again.
Looking forward to this episode. We've been talking about this one for a couple of weeks, so it's good to get great.
And before we get there, did you enjoy your time away last week? Anybody rob
Yeah,
your house after I gave up that you were going on vacation?
No, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the broadcast that you gave to the world. That was great. My house got robbed 4 times because of you. So yeah, thank you for that, Darren.
And you came back with COVID, so that's probably my fault too.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm happy to help. So, this episode, if you're a cybersecurity professional, will not be a big shock to you, but it's a good episode to pass along to your friends and family who always ask you, "What is the dark web? What does it mean? What is it? What exactly is it?" So we're going to kind of go a little deep into it. We're going to go on to the dark web, show you some things there, kind of talk about how it's different than the surface web, which you see every day, which you go to. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're on a surface web page. If you log into your corporate network with a password multi-factor authentication, you're in what's called the deep web. And if you use all sorts of encryption and some other stuff through the Tor network, then you're on the dark web. But we'll talk about what that means, what it looks like, give you some examples of some sites where bad things happen, and some sites where not bad things happen. Because not everything on the dark web is illegal activity. That's what is mostly portrayed as, but there's certainly places on there that are legitimate. Places like the New York Times, the CIA have legitimate dark web sites, and we'll show some of those if they work. Now, not all the links work all the time, so this will be an interesting look as we do this, where we try to go somewhere and it does nothing. So that'll be fantastic and awesome, but it is what it is. So before we get there, and as always, if you have thoughts, questions, or comments, you can email Mike or I at our business address, dmod@fiveeyesltd.com, or Michael M at fiveeyes.ltd.com. Five Eyes is our little company that does cybersecurity and physical security consulting and education for largely logistics firms, but there's other entities we're happy to help if they need the assistance. We're not keeping track of pitch slaps today because I'm sick of doing that to waste my time. So I'm not going to show the little pitch slap picture. So let's go to, what is the dark web? You've heard about it. You're probably wondering what it is. Again, if you're part of the cybersecurity community, this is not going to be a shocker. But again, for those not so familiar, the internet you can think of as an iceberg divided into 3 pieces. The surface web, which is the top part of the pyramid of the iceberg. This is going to be Google, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you can just go to and just see is going to be a surface website. Like, I know that one of my news sources I go to is the Daily Mail, because it updates frequently. A lot of it's somewhat cheesy, but I like that stuff. It's a good getaway. X is a surface website, Twitter, whatever. All those things you can get to without a password, without a login. You can just see them. Everything else that you need logins and passwords for is part of the deep web. Everything else. So if you have to log into it with a password, you're in the deep web. All that means is it's protected by a password. The dark web utilizes some additional encryption capabilities and some additional login requirements to get there, but a lot of it acts like the regular surface web. And some of the stuff on the dark web is surface web-like, where you don't need an account to get into it. You just need that special tool to get onto the dark web. Anything else? Anything I got wrong there, Mike, you want to expand on?
No, I just want you to get on the dark web, mate. I'm just excited to see what you're going to uncover on the dark web. Let's do it.
All right. So the question is, how do you get to the dark web? Well, there's a couple of ways. You can go the old route, and you can download what's called the Onion Router Protocol, which is something you would put on your computer, and you log in and encrypt your data. Then you bring up a browser and blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, there are easier ways to do it now that only take like one click. And so I have on my screen here 2 options on how to get to the dark web. Actually, I need to change one thing on our pictures here, because we look funky there because I have this set up incorrectly. So that's pretty awesome. So that didn't work. All right. So we're already starting off awesome with my inability to do this crap correctly. So, I'm going to take off the background because that looks stupid. So
we're currently in the deep web right now.
We are. Well, we're not yet. Yeah, we're in the deep. We're not even in the deep web. Oops, sorry. This is going to be a... Again, technology, awesome for me. There you go. Let me hide that. That looks better. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I have one of my screens open, and this is about as big as I can make it on my application here. So I have 2 browsers. This is the Brave browser, which is free to download. And this is the Tor browser, also free to download. The difference is the Brave browser, you can just browse the surface web as you like if you wish. Or you can go and you can open up right here. You can open a private window with Tor. So I click on that. It brings up a new window. It says it's connecting to Tor is connecting. And boom, I am now on the dark web on my Brave browser. Now, I'm not going to use that browser because I like the Tor browser a little better, but you can do it that way. So you can download Brave, get on there if you want. So let's get rid of that. And let us bring up the Tor browser, which is just a browser like Firefox or Safari or whatever. And all you have to do is hit connect. And it will go connect at some point. It's a little slower than Brave, not going to lie. It's a little on the slower side, but there you go. We are now in the dark web, and I can search. They have their own search engine right here, DuckDuckGo. The same DuckDuckGo you can access on the surface web is available on the dark web, right? So you can put in, let's say you want to find, so there is a common hacker site called the Russian Market. So you can just click on there. Now I am running also this on VPN. So all my stuff is encrypted on the VPN. So this shows me a couple different things. And this is actually showing me surface web information. It's not showing me the Onion version of that. So that's not going to help me out. So I'm going to go to a different search engine called Torch. But if you look at this, here's the DuckDuckGo URL, which is very odd looking. And that's the whole thing with dark web stuff is they're not like Ford.com, Google.com. They are obscure domain names to help anonymize what the dark web does. I prefer the Torch browser. I mean,
Dan, is there any chance you can like get rid of us as a picture and we're just commenting in the background and you can see that screen bigger? Because at the minute,
let me do this. I'll make it smaller.
Yeah, very small. Because the browser's quite small. I can barely see it.
All right. All you do is complain. You can never be
I know.
satisfied. All right, is that better for you? How's that look? That work for you?
Bit bigger if you can. If you can.
Come on, man. Help a brother out.
If you,
All right, let's move you over here. Okay, everybody knows who we are. I don't think I need to say what our names are, so I'm going to get rid of that.
Yeah, they don't need to see us. They just want to see that stuff.
There you go. How's that? Is that better for you?
That's much better. There we go. We're in business now.
I'm going to keep my circle bigger because I'm the one driving the train here. So anyway, so the Torch site is, I have to go bring it up on a different page. Now, I will say, if you're listening to this in a podcast format, this is probably not going to get as much out of it as if you go to the YouTube channel and watch the video. But I'll leave that up to you to figure out how to best view all of this. But come on, CIA, DuckDuckGo, Facebook. I had Torch up here a little while ago. There it is. Okay. So Torch is a search engine. All right, so if I put this in here, all right, there is the Torch search engine. So let's see what they give us for Russian market. Now they get a whole bunch of other stuff here that is quite fabulous as a pop-ups, but
wow, check that out.
Yeah, so if you want to get more specific and look at all these other things, you can do that as well, but I would not recommend I would say again, if you are not cyber savvy or cyber secure savvy, I wouldn't jump right into this right away. But certainly, if you want to practice, you can. All right. So there is the URL for the Russian anonymous marketplace. Let's see what that does. I'll open that in a new tab, see if it works.
Don't mind the Russian market. There's always interesting stuff going on in there.
Boom. There you go. So I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this shows, actually. Dark web onion links. So there's popular darknet links you can go to. Here are other markets. So this one is a market with, let's go to this one. Let's see what this one does. This looks fabulous because it says you can get like pharmaceutical products. So why not? So if you want to go on the dark web and get pharmaceuticals, well, that didn't work. That didn't do what it was supposed to do. Open link in new tab. All right, for whatever reason, it's not directing it to me. So, All right.
They do love to chuck in some red herrings, don't they?
Yeah. So this is the kicker with the dark web, is it doesn't always give you what you're trying to get to. You got to kind of fight around with it because it's okay. There you go. So here is the UK darknet cocaine vendor. Boom.
Love it.
So if you want some cocaine, you can come right here, and you can order. Let's say you want to order a gram. I want a gram of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, and it'll go through.
You know what, Darren? Go up a minute.
Yep.
I love the presentation. I didn't know drug dealers were art dealers like that. That makes you want to buy a gram of cocaine, doesn't it?
It doesn't for me, but I mean, maybe. But again, it shows how easy it is to do this kind of stuff, right? So here's another search engine, but it shows free drug vendors in the dark web. Yay! Dark search is a powerful dark search engine used for seeking whatever. It indexes hidden website forums and so on and so forth. So recently this week, there is a dark web site that traded in breach information. It was called Breach Forums. And if I remember I think it was .st. So some of the sites on the dark web do use like surface web domain browsing. Yep, that one doesn't work. So because Breach Forums was taken down by the federal government. So if I go and search on the surface web to find the Breach Forum, here it is. So here is, I found an onion site for Breach Forums. Again, this is where, and this became important this week because of Salesforce information. So Salesforce was recently hacked, and all the information taken, millions and millions of user information, was placed on the dark web on Breach Forums. That's what led to the FBI wanting to take it down. And there it is. That is what's happened to Breach Forums. It's been seized by the DOJ, the FBI. I think is that French? Yeah, the French police and whoever these people are, and the third one, I have no idea. But anyway, so effectively, Breach Forums has been taken down. Now, one thing I'll note is 3 months ago, Breach Forums was taken down, and it came back. Because here is the thing to understand about the dark web, if you understand nothing else, is that for every site that exists, especially if it's run by criminals, they have backup infrastructure for this problem. When this problem exists, they will reconstitute in a new form. So Breach Forums itself will likely come back eventually under a new dark web domain. When it doesn't happen, like Silk Road went down years ago, but they arrested the guy who ran it. So if you arrest the guy who runs the site, a lot harder for the site to come back. But a lot of these sites are managed by multiple people who are in areas that are not, they're not going to get arrested, right? If they're in Russia or they're in a protected country, they're not going to get arrested, right? So those things don't work. But in this case, this was a successful effort by law enforcement to at least take the site down. Now, what does that really do? Makes it harder for bad guys to access the data that was on this site to begin with. But chances are more than likely, if not 100% likely, that information already resides elsewhere on the dark web that I cannot get to no matter how hard I try. Law enforcement, the FBI, the French police, and the dudes in the third spot there, they can't get to because unless they have sources within those locations, they're not going to get access to it. They're protected by passwords. They're in the deep web part of the dark web that is hard to get to.
Yep.
That's all you're going to give me? I'm going to do this stuff. You're going to say yep every time? Come on. Add a little flavor here, Mike. Come on, man. Come on,
I've got a question. Do you know any websites off the top of your head where people could go where hackers could go to buy tools to do hacking?
I believe I have that here somewhere, perhaps. It's funny.
Because we're always on these podcasts talking about hackers getting tools off the dark web, so it'd be good to show.
All right, here's one. Here's one. Let's see if I can get to it. It's called XSS. Copy. So here is one called XSS. Nope, that one no longer works. Okay, here's another one called exploit.in. Again, this is the problem with the dark web is the links are unstable. Let me try this one. Again, if you're on the audio version of the podcast, you're thinking, wow, this is great. This is fabulous. Listen to this is pretty awesome. That's why you need to go to the YouTube channel and not only watch it on the YouTube channel, but subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your friends. Help us out.
Tickle the algorithm.
Well, none of these freaking
Give us
things
the
work.
likes. Give us the comments.
This is not good. Let's try Leakbase. That's just leaks. That's not going to be tools. Okay, let's try this one.
So why is it, Darren, that the links become unstable? What's usually the main reasons for that?
The people who ran it don't run it anymore. They've moved the address to kind of avoid law enforcement, because probably after the breach forums event, God dang it, then after breach forums happened, they moved their infrastructure because they didn't want to be next. So anytime there's any kind of this activity where criminal sites are taken down, other criminal sites will change how they operate to make it harder to find, right? So, yeah. Let me find XX. So I need you to filibuster here, Michael. I'm looking for this stuff.
No, you made a good point earlier when you were talking about the bad guys. They create a backup infrastructure, so if it goes down, that they can sort of re-pop up again. And it's something that we talk about that the good guys should do, like businesses should do. They should create a backup system that if their systems are taken over, if their network's been taken over, they can refer back to their backup. So, even the bad guys are putting the effort in to create a backup network, and the good guys, the businesses around the world are like, meh, we'll do it next year.
Yeah.
And it's the good guys that need it the most.
So here's the weird thing. I wonder if my dark web connection is inactive. That's the other thing with some of these, like the Tor browser. Sometimes your connection will go away. So I think I need to reload this altogether. Let me do this. Let me bring up a new tab.
It really is a funny world, the dark web, isn't it? It's not like the open web, is it?
No, I mean it's a lot more complicated to fight through, and we're probably doing it the hard way, right? There's probably easier ways. I'm not going to say I can roll through the dark web like nobody's business. I can get there, I can do stuff, I can look for things, but I'm a subject matter somewhat expert is the best way I can probably put it.
So did you spend much of your career on the dark web?
Well, yes and no. So before the dark web was what it was now, I had a 5-year undercover that was basically working within what became the dark web, right? So it wasn't necessarily, the dark web didn't really exist with the type of encryption that it had, but we did all of our stuff on that undercover I did the stuff with the bad guys in the deep web part. So there you go.
Nice.
All right. What else you got, Mike? Because we're keep in mind this is an audio podcast as well, so we need to be like having talking stuff going on. So if you could talk some stuff, that'd be.
I'm gonna do a full interview now.
Yeah.
Go do a full interview.
You need to talk more about Darren After Dark.
You know what? The listeners aren't even going to know what that is. Like, so we did a podcast. Was it 2 weeks ago? Didn't we? We were talking about
3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago.
Talking about digital ID in the UK. That was a LinkedIn Live, and you dropped a bombshell on that you used to be a radio DJ back in the 80s/90s when it was your student job, and your radio name was Darren After Dark. And then, actually, remember as well when we did that podcast with Paige Hansen, you were saying that you can sing as well. I'm learning so much about you. The longer I'm working with you, you come out with these ball swerves where I'm just not expecting you to say something, and it's like, how did I not find this out about you?
I don't know. I'm glad I can be there for you for the humor of my life. So there's that.
Right, what you stumbled on now? What we got?
Okay, this is deep web. This is just another search option. So these are darknet market links, which is different markets that sell stuff. So I'm trying to find one that has tools. This is telling you how to get there. It says 80 carding items, 70 or so electronic items, but we don't care about that.
I love how they're trying to replicate actual legitimate companies.
Yeah, so let's go to Torbay. Let's see what so Torbay is an eBay equivalent. There you go. Here's things you can buy on Torbay. So let's say, what do you want here? You want fake money? You want hacking? Let's see what we can buy in hacking.
Yes, this is the stuff. Let's go for it. What we got? What we got?
WhatsApp. There you go. You can get WhatsApp hacking right here. WhatsApp hacking.
Okay.
WhatsApp hacking remotely with his number and spy on all the conversations. So this is basically for $250. You can buy this tool, which will allow you to hack a WhatsApp account allegedly. Now,
What do you think? You buying into that?
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? I mean, but the one thing you don't see here is ratings. Like, there's not people saying 5 stars. I got exactly what I wanted. Yay for me.
Yeah, I'm not buying that, but
Okay.
fair one.
Here's Hackers for Hire.
They
They can execute a professional hacking service tailored as per your needs and requirements. Ooh, and there's a different. So I wonder what do you get for this mount for $1,999. Doesn't even say what you get. Well, that's kind of a rip. All right, we're not going to click on the porn site. Not going to click the porn site. Credit cards. Okay, let's get some. Go ahead.
The Hackers for Hire has been happening for a long time, isn't it? Because the cyber criminals realised that they could just outsource it, and what I guess the main actors, what they do is they take a percentage off the top, don't they, of what the hackers make.
Sure.
Yep. It's a good business model, isn't it? It's kind of like the normal world where it's just like, you got a subcontractor in, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm trying to see if any of these have good stuff that is worth looking at. Not so much. All right, let's get out of that one. All right, we're going back here to this one. Deep Well. Let's just see what's on Deep Websites 2025. See if anything good pops from that. There's another iceberg example that talks about what's where. That's interesting. That is a useless site. That's not going to help with anything. I'm going to go back to Torch. I'm going to put in exploits.
Saw something there about Bitcoin as well. That's an interesting one because cyber criminals always want to be paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, so here's a Bitcoin generator exploit.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It provides you an automated training interface to help users learn how to trade. Well, who gives a shit? Trade Bitcoin. Who cares? That's not what we thought.
How about trying the links that I sent you earlier?
All right. Yes, you sent me links. Let's go to those. See what those bring up. Okay. Let's go with this one. Then you'll have to explain what it is if it works.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Keep that one open. And that's the other thing. This is because what Tor does is it encrypts all of your traffic in layers. And as it goes through different hops, it pulls off layer upon layer upon layer. So it pulls off the layers once it gets to the endpoint and then re-encrypts it and sends it back to you with layered encryption.
Russian market.
So there's the Russian market. All right. So we got there, but we need a username and password to get in, which we don't have. But there is the Russian market. Trades in stolen information, stolen accounts, stolen credit cards, all that kind of stuff. So there is the Russian market.
Try one of the other links. I've sent you quite a few. See if they work.
Yeah, well, they all say Russian market on them, though. They're all Russian markets. Oh, that one's not.
But there might be the one that lets you log in.
No, yeah, I think these are all Russian market. They're all different. No, they're all redirects to the Russian market. Looks like. Yeah, so they're all Russian market.
I think maybe we could reach out to Russia and ask for the login details. Forgot password.
Sure, I'm sure they'd be happy to give it to us. All right, so let's go to this one. This is a good one. So this is one we talked about beforehand that you wouldn't think you would find on the dark web, but now again, I'm assuming this link works, but it's a site that if it doesn't work, I know exactly how to blame it because it looks like it might work. This is the CIA site on the dark web. So if you want to report information to the CIA anonymously, you can come right here to their CIA dark website and click right here, report information.
And I'm sure they get inundated with lots of traffic.
And here's an online form, what to provide and how to provide it. So I'm going to put in that there's a guy in the UK named the Kingsman
who needs his front door kicked in.
Yeah. There's also a Facebook. There's a Facebook site on the dark web. See if I can find, again, I like to find some good hacking ones would be good. Best. The problem is like ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to give it to me, wouldn't give it to me. They said, I can't do that. It's an illegal site. I'm sure there's a way around it. I just don't know what the way around it is without doing more research, which I don't have the time to do. Let's see. I know that one doesn't work. Okay. I'm just going to ask Grok. Grok will do it. Elon doesn't mind giving me the information.
I've got another URL here for you that might be worth checking out.
I will say this, the amount of time we've stopped talking, I'm sure that the 4 people listening have said, I'm nuts for this. I'm moving on to something else.
They've got to appreciate that we're creating art here. We're having to do our research as we're doing this.
Yeah, if we were actually good podcasts. Now, see, that one doesn't work. None of these work. These kind of sucks. Let me do this a different way.
I've sent 2 new links. Check them out.
Okay. Here's a better, let's see if this one works. I'll go to yours in a second, but I found a better URL perhaps. This is for a site called Ramp, which of course that one doesn't work either. So let me go to yours. All right. This may be a short podcast if none of our links work. So Fresh Tools. All right. Let's see what that one is. Now, some of these sites we're trying to go to likely have logins, which is going to make it hard for us to really show you much cool stuff, but we'll see what this one does. Fresh Tools works. Yay. There you go.
Oh.
So Fresh Tools, it provides tools for hackers to do stuff, but you have to have an account to get in. Now, again, this goes into even dark web scrapers could get this page, but they can't really get inside to what's inside. So what they do was some of the companies, especially the ones that you had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for their dark web tool. They actually have people that part of their job is to get access to these sites and then give the scraper the access to pull the information down. We don't have that, so we can't see it. But certainly there would be tools within this that bad guys could then use. So let me try your other one. We'll probably find this a lot with this, but we may go back to Torch and just see if we can. Okay, your other one didn't work. So let me go back to here. Let me just put free exploits, see what that gives us. Didn't like that search request. What else we got here? Escrow, deep web, deep marketplace. Did I go that's the one I went to before? I don't think so. No, it was a different one.
Oh.
Well, that's a very professional looking page, I got to say.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. So I think this is where you can get prepaid, non-traceable monetary tools. So you can send money through these places. PayPal Mafia. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not buying currency or bank cards or anything like that, no?
They're anonymous payment services.
Okay.
Let's try this one. I think this is the one I tried before. That one's offline. Hence the problem with a lot of this stuff.
What about chat rooms? Any chat rooms going on?
Let's try chat room. That's a good one. Let's try that one. Because there are legitimate sites. I see that. I don't know why it's doinking me on that. Let's try match any word. There are places online for people that are in abusive relationships to go and communicate with people to protect them. There's those kind of things. But again, you have to know where they are. They're hard to find. But ideally, if you're in that situation, you'll have someone who can say, hey, go here on the dark web, and you can anonymously, be able to get protection without, your spouse, whoever, finding out or knowing. So there is that. Okay, here's a bunch of other addresses I can try, which I'm not.
Is it maybe worth trying the other browser?
We could try that. I'm going to guess it's going to give us about the same thing. Oh, maybe here you go. Here's Ramp. So Ramp is an online tool thing. But again, but they got forums. Let's see if we can get to the forums without log. Nope, got to have a login to get into the forums. So this is called ramp.io. It contains hacking information, things like that, but you got to be logged in. I wonder if we can register. I can register, see what happens. Oh, maybe you don't need, like, let's register. Let's do. All right, I'm going to close. I'm going to hide this real quick, so you know what? I'm not going to go through. I should have done this beforehand. We'll do it next week. We'll figure out. So next week, for next week's episode, show, whatever, we will get access to some of these sites and then go into it there. The point of this episode was to kind of show you how it's not that hard to get into the dark web. It is a little hard to navigate through it because sites go up and down and you have to have the right onion address and they change all the time because of law enforcement activity. But as you can see, there are sites that you need logins and passwords to get into. Now, for sites like this, assuming there's illegal activity going on in here, because I was able to do this with breach forums. I was able to get access to breach forums and go in and see everything because they don't care, because it's not, it's not a big deal to them, which probably got them in trouble because law enforcement could go in and then they could monitor it and get more information, find where it was, and take it offline. Same thing here with Ramp and others like this. And actually, Russian Market, I didn't really look. I still got open. The problem, it does have create account. So I will create an account on Russian Market as well to see if I can get in there. Now I'm going to have to create a drop email account to do this because I'm not using my real email accounts. But before next week, I will create a Yahoo account of bogusness and see if I can get into the Russian Market and this Ramp Market. Actually, I'll even bookmark them so we have them for next week.
I think you should just put in our business director's email address. He will shit the bed and that comes through.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The Russian Market.
If between now and then, like if anyone watches this or listens to this, and again, if you're listening to this, it probably wasn't that exciting because you're like, what the hell are these guys doing? This makes no sense on an audio podcast. But, we give you the video option on YouTube. If you want us, if there's specific sites you'd like us to try to go to, you can send it to us and we will try to see if we can access it and see what's there, or try to get access to it and see if we can get into it and see what's in there, and just kind of road around and see what you can get, kind of show you what's available there. I mean, obviously we could have bought cocaine, which I'm sure after this is over, Mike's going to go back to that site and say, okay, give me half a gram. I'm good to go.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to find methamphetamine, I'm sure you could find that. You can find all those things. And there's a lot of bad stuff, obviously, on the dark web, but it's how the dark web's designed for legal guys to do stuff. And there's the legitimate stuff, the CIA site. There's a New York Times site. There's a Facebook site. So there are other, it is not as weird a play or as hard a place to get to as you may think. Again, you download the Tor browser, easy to go. Download the Brave browser and open up the tab with Tor. It'll connect to you directly. So it's one click and you're on the dark web. You just have to know where to go and find. And those resources are a little harder to come by. And at some point, hopefully, maybe a couple episodes down, we'll actually bring in a dark web expert who this is what they do all the time. Because I don't do this all the time. I've done it enough. I know how it works. I can get through it. But someone who can walk us through this stuff a little easier might be a more interesting conversation than us two bozos just trying to provide information.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, today's episode was literally just to show you how we're going to dark web, what it looks like and what you can find. Next week, you're going to try and log in, get an account, and then we'll see what we can find once we're in the Russian market, etc.
Yep. And as we've said before, obviously, if you want to get a hold of us, that is our webpage, fiveeyesltd.com. That's my email at the bottom. Mike's is, I don't know why you're sitting here. Sorry. Oh, there it is at the top. Mike's at the top. I'm at the bottom. Feel free to email us there. Find us on LinkedIn. As you go about the rest of your day, know that knowledge is protection. If you can understand the threats targeting you can assess your risk. Proceed wisely. If you decide to go on the dark web, be careful. Use a VPN to encrypt your connection to your internet provider. It's just an additional layer of protection. And feel free to root around, see what you can find. I would not recommend buying cocaine. I'd probably not go that route myself. But you do you. I can't. I'm not here to live your life for you. So. Mike, I will say, Mike, this is a quicker half hour than usual. So I will say this went by pretty quickly. But
I enjoyed this.
We're always interested in comments. Like, you can say, you guys don't know what you're doing. Stop podcasting. I'm sick of seeing this on my feed. Let us know. Otherwise, share it with others. At least we're funny. We try to be funny, right? We try to add humor, even if it's just laughing
There
at
we go.
ourselves. All right. So for Michael McQuaid, the Kingsman, I'm Darren Mott, the Cyber Guy, also known in the 90s as Darren After Dark. Enjoy the rest
Darren
of your
After
week.
Dark.
We will talk to you again next week. Thanks for participating and listening to the Kingsman and the Cyber Guy podcast.